So, I haven't made a video in a while, and I thought I would make this video because I just came back from the luncheon for the Panton Dawkins Scholarship Luncheon, and I was a keynote speaker, and this is the speech I gave. So I thought I would put this, record it, because folks asked, would I be willing to share my speech? And I thought this would be the best way to share it. So I'm going to give the speech similarly to how I gave it today. So here goes. Do not consider painful what is good for you. Euripides. Good afternoon to the ministerial staff and the members of First Presbyterian, members of the dais, honorable members of the dais, scholarship recipients, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, and I acknowledge my friends and family who are there as well. Let me say congratulations to all the recipients and to the Caribbean Club of First Presbyterian for hosting their 24th Panton Dawkins Scholarship Luncheon. This is quite a legacy that has been created, and each year these honorees add to and continue to grow this legacy. Congratulations again. I'm humbled and honored to be the keynote speaker this afternoon, and in the few minutes I will spend sharing with you, my hope is that this exchange will be meaningful. With so much happening in the world, locally, nationally, and globally, I contemplated what I would speak about today. I could not shake the subject of change. I thought I would share my thoughts on the idea of change, embracing the disruptive elements of change. But let me start with a recent parable that I borrowed. So the hermit crab must change its shell as it grows. And one day the crab decides he was tired of changing his shell, and he decides to have a talk with the creator about this characteristic. Crab goes to see the creator and he says, I do not think it's a good idea that I have to change my shell every couple of months. The creator was surprised by the thoughts of the crab and asked, what was the problem with changing his shell every few months? I like myself the way I am, and I do not think this constant change is a good idea, the crab said. The creator asked him if he was sure, and what did he want to do about it? I want to stay in one shell, the crab says. I'm happy the way I am. The creator agreed. So be it, she said. Moving forward, you will not change your shell. You will remain in the shell you have. Happily, the crab went on his way. Let me define the word for you. Change. As a verb, change means to make or become different. As in, a proposal to change the law. Or, to take or use another instead of. She decided to change her name. As a noun, the act or instance of becoming different, as in changing from a nomadic to an agricultural society. And of course, we also know that change means a handful of money that's not paper money, that's not dollars. By this definition, it would seem that change, the act of change, can only be an active process. So if change is to occur, we must make change or become change or be changed. So if change is to occur, we must make change, become change, or be changed. Yet, for almost all of us, experiencing change generates anxiety and discomfort. Like our friend the crab who I just spoke about, turns out rarely, if ever, change occurs without discomfort. It tends to be particularly hard when the change needs to be an internal one, but you're just not ready. How much harder can it be to achieve change if you do not believe that you need to change? What causes change to happen? I have concluded that there are at least three reasons why change occurs. change as a result of external forces. 2, the experience of pain. And 3, the acceptance that more, better is possible and available. When external forces drive change, often this means that the change is imposed, necessary, and may even be outside the control of the person. This external force means you lose something. It may be that you're fired or you lose your employment. This type of change forces the person to act, to do something else as a response to this change. Change that occurs as a result of external forces either engages or enrages. The experience of pain as a motivator for change. We all have or will at some time experience pain. Pain can, of course, be physical or emotional. Whatever the state of pain, pain often drives us to do something different. Pain forces us to act. Change as a result of pain is often unexpected, sudden, shocking. This experience of pain forces sudden change. Change that occurs as a result of pain either paralyzes or propels. And then the third reason for change is the acceptance that more or better is possible and available. This type of change is purely internally driven and fully within the control of the person. When change is driven by the belief that things can be better, the individual has accepted that they have the motivation, the drive, and the will to make change. In accepting this kind of change, the person also recognizes and accepts that they deserve this change. Often, this type of change is unconnected to the physical realm and occurs in the emotional or spiritual space. Change that occurs as a result of acceptance liberates and elevates. So about that crab. Soon the crab noticed that his shell was snug. Then the shell started to squeeze. Before long, the crab was having a hard time breathing. He goes back to the Creator. And he says, "This is not what we agreed to. My shell has not remained the same. It keeps shrinking." "Not at all," smiled the Creator. "It has remained the same size. What happens is that you changed inside and within your shell." The Creator continued, "You see, everything changes continuously. No one remains the same. That's the way I've made things. When you let go of your shell and choose to change, to grow," said the Creator, "you build strengths within yourself, and in that strength you find the capacity to love yourself, to love those around you, and to love life itself." And as this event that I went to was a church event, it comes from a church organization, I thought it was important to also have a reference, a biblical reference. So I chose Numbers 23, verse 19, which says, "God is not human, that he should lie, not a human being that he should change his mind. Does he speak and then not act? Does he promise and not fulfill?" I am hardly the theologian. What this passage from the Bible suggests to me, however, is that our Mother, Father, Creator God is change. While God does not change its mind, God wants us to change and grow, because it is only in doing that, in changing, that we can fully achieve all that God has for us. And in that kind of change, God wants us to change not just ourselves, but our communities, things that are happening around us. So I leave you with this. Change is uncomfortable. Change is seldom calm. Change is constant. Change is continuous. And remember, do not consider painful what is good for you. Blessings.